Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Blu-rayDave back in another video, and what a great way to start off this intro with Toothless. By the time you're watching this, like, I just got home back from my folks, so it's okay, boy. I know I've been gone almost all day, besides, with work. Um, I really wanted to make sure, like, how I prep this video, because, again, it's another one of these videos where I've been meaning to make this for a long time now. It's just, I don't know how to do it, but I figured this could be a fun way to explain this, right? I've kind of done a similar situation like this before years ago with Marvel, so this is just gonna be like of course, it's gonna be like a general thing that I'm gonna be talking about. So, again, how do I even start this off? Well, okay, so like as kids, we want to watch stuff on TV. Anything can amuse us, right? Um, and of course, the parents, they have to be strict with their kids, like what they watch, like. Um, but I knew as a little kid I wanted to watch the stuff that my dad was watching, like. Um, if you guys know a little bit about my history, you guys should know what my very first PG-13 movie was. Like as a 3-year-old, it was the very first Spider-Man movie, and I just remember like being hooked onto it. Like, man, this is perfect. Like, besides watching my Thomas and Veggie Tales and all the other good stuff that we all watched as kids growing up, I wanted more, right? So, um, remember that like nighttime, me and my dad, we would watch some of the like the adult cartoon stuff, like the frickin' Simpsons, for example. But like he always watched King of the Hill, and I was seriously into MASH, guys. Like seriously, like even as a little kid, I thought it was just so interesting and cool. Like, and I want to watch the entire series, right? So where am I getting off with this? So, and of course, what stuff that parents watch, like especially like if they've watched it multiple times and they memorize the movie or TV show, and of course, like, as a kid, you have that genuine like not concern, but like curiousness, like, oh, what's this like, can we watch this, like, and of course, like, why do you think the ratings are there for a reason, like, and of course, like, if there's some scenes that the parents need to skip slash censor, like, you should know why. Or I shouldn't have said it like that. Like, as a kid, you are gonna be confused, like, why are you like blocking this? And like, I'm pretty sure your parents will tell you, like, in a few years' time, you'll know why. Like, and I've said this before too with Titanic, guys. The first time I watched Titanic, my mother had to block those specific scenes, right? Even though it's an overrated movie, I still think that's the only best work that James Cameron has ever made. Like, hands down, he should retire from directing. Um, Now I feel like the roles have been reversed. Like in recent years, whether I've still lived with my parents, like finished with school, or like I'm living on my own, like I'm watching stuff, right? Like I shouldn't have said it like that. Stuff. That like if I want to show them something, like if I think it's good, if I think like if they're gonna enjoy it, like that's cool. Like oh man, there's so many perfect examples. Like I'm not saying all of them are positive. It's just like I want to see what you guys think of this. Like um and it's funny how I hear some adults that say like, oh, this stuff is graphic. Like I know you. I've known you for a while, and I know you watch like R-rated movies. So like, I don't know if you should complain about this, because like it depends on like the content too, whether it's graphic or suggestive stuff and all that. I I am still getting into more R-rated movies, guys. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna like all of them, right? So very recently, I just showed my dad Thomas Jane's The Punisher, and um, with his typical reaction, like I'm not calling him a filthy casual, right? I'm just calling him like a casual fan of things. Like he said it was okay, especially at his age now. Like I'm afraid of coming to that reality. Like I've like in recent years with some movies and some TV shows, I have found them like okay, like with some of the Disney Plus stuff, like with Marvel, like I found them like some of them okay, like. But that's just me being real. Like I don't want to be a fake fan of anything. With the Star Wars stuff, of course I love them. Okay, there's just some that are better than others, right? Oh, bud. Yeah, he's a good boy. Oh. And I remember last summer I showed my mom Morbius for the first time because, oh my gosh, guys, my mom is very strict when it comes to these things, and like, you know what? That's okay. You know what? My parents don't have to like everything that me and my siblings like, and that's something that modern day parents fail to realize. Like, unfortunately, the only way to bond with their kids is that they need to watch and like everything that they like. Like, that is so unfair. You need to be critical and I don't want to use the word like judgmental, like like that one person that judges everything. Just like again, critical is the perfect word for it. Like parents, you need to at least be like, oh, I thought this was okay, type thing. Like, and the best thing about my parents is that they don't literally give a crap what people critics say anything about like the stuff that they watch. Like if they genuinely like or dislike a thing, that's fine. Like so, don't expect my parents to like everything that the world likes. Like literally my dad and I we share like we have favorite movies, right? Like I'm just gonna use the two movies for example. Yes, we both love Green Lantern and John Carter just because we both like genuinely love those films, and we just have a good kick out of them too, whether they're funny or action packed. Like we love that stuff. But yeah, just I think my mom enjoyed Morbius better than Venom because I remember 3 years ago I showed her Venom and she did not talk to me for the rest of the night. So, but I think she enjoyed Morbius a little bit better because I remember she was like, "Oh, we're getting to the good stuff. Like he's gonna like." Kill people here and all that. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, mom. Again, like, she has, like, different varieties of stuff. Like, of course she loves Captain America. I mean, who doesn't? Like, frickin' Steve Rogers? Come on, he's the man for the job. Um, but yeah, those are just the examples of stuff that I've, shown to my parents. Like, and of course, I feel like it's a bigger responsibility on me too because again like if my dad would have watched The Punisher years ago when it came out and if he wanted to show it to me and my brother, he would have like skipped different scenes too. Of course there was a couple scenes that I had to skip, like oh my gosh guys, but I remember it's every time I watched Tobey Maguire's first Spider-Man, I keep being brought back to like what age 8 or 9 when I watched Spider-Man again for the first time in a long time because I really don't remember the first time I watched it as 3 years old. Let's be fair, I do remember some scenes for sure, but it's just like man, and I just remember me and my brother having such a good time with this movie because it was like the classic cheesy like superhero movie that we've watched, and ever since then I was hooked. Like, literally, Spider-Man in general was my first Marvel character I've been introduced. And right now, again, by the time when this video comes out, I am showing my dad She-Hulk, and hopefully we'll get this done by the time when this video gets up, because so far he likes it, but I could definitely tell that, of course, my dad's not stupid, alright? He knows what's going on. Like, I like it with this show, they also, like, talk about with the feminist bullcrap stuff that they're going on. Like there's no filter. Like there are people talking like, oh, why is this being a thing or whatever, like that type of thing. Like I find it an okay show, and of course my dad had a couple of laughs with the first few episodes, and he likes it so far, but of course I know he could definitely tell that it's more adult because that's what Disney's trying to go for, right? Like it's not always going to be for the kids. And I finally showed him the Kraven the Hunter trailer, and he said it was too graphic. I agree, but I feel like it's a promising start, right? Because this was something that Sony had promised us since Venom, and we never got that. So let's, hypothetically speaking, let's say Kraven the Hunter did well in the box office, and Sony could see this as an opportunity. Like, hey, people really want R-rated Spider-Verse or like Spider-Villain movies. So again, what I think they could do is that they could re-release the previous 3 Villainverse movies, which is the 2 Venom movies and Morbius. Like, again, with the Megan situation, release the PG-13 version in the theaters, but release an unrated or director's cut on Blu-ray. Like, wouldn't that work, guys? Anyways, yeah, just I really need to be careful with what I show to my parents, and I'm pretty sure they felt the same way showing me stuff back in the day. I'm hearing some people in the hallway. And yeah, sometimes I gotta remind my brother too, like he needs to be careful too with showing, especially our dad some stuff, like listen, bro, if you know these pinpoints in time or these scenes, like make sure you censor them, skip them, whatever, so like he doesn't get on you. Oh, man. That was even one of my biggest fears when I was still living with my folks. Like, hey, it's like, again, like as long as you keep binge watching these things and you know where these exact pinpoints are, like, and if you can make your own clean version of these, like, yeah. And Justice League is definitely another example. Like, I think my dad liked it for sure. I think mom thought it was okay. I definitely showed my sister that because I think it's such an oxymoron for that version of the movie to be rated R because it's not even that graphic. Sure, there are 4 F-bombs. The first one you don't even hear. What else am I hearing? Am I hearing the wind? Is it supposed to rain tonight? I don't know, guys. I'm trying not to get distracted. I'm hearing these, like, noises like, is it the wind or am I hearing people outside? I don't even know. But of course I have met families who just don't really care what they watch. And unfortunately with some of these families, like they showed their really young kids, like R-rated movies, like at an early age, and that's not good because you would want your kids to live as kids, like to, again, even know what it's like to be a kid growing up, and you don't want them to be mini adults. Like, yes, I would agree, like, sure, there's a lot of cute kids out there, but at the same time, they could be, like, annoying. Like, even I could tell when I was, like, at that age where I was just an annoying little kid, like, yeah, parents just do not wish your kids to grow up that fast. Like, I still meet some parents to this day, like, oh, I miss it when my child was, like, this tall. Like, still, even my mom to this day, she still talks about, not all the time, but she talks about, like, oh, man, I miss it when you guys were, like, this tall or whatever. Like, yeah, but we all gotta grow up sometime, though. Right, Mom? Still, I think age 3 would be appropriate to show your kids PG-13 movies. I mean, hey, look at me, I turned out fine. I think that's still the perfect trend. Like, you hear these kids these days where they talk about, like, the hit blockbuster movies that are PG-13, like, oh, man, I thought this thing was great. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, But yeah, 17 though, guys. Literally, just parents, I know that you're desperate to show your kids R-rated movies, but you gotta wait till they're 17. I mean, hey, if I wanted to, I could have rebelled more and watched R-rated movies in secret, but like Passion of the Christ, I felt like that was the perfect R-rated movie to watch first, and I had a great time. After that, I wanted to expand more on these because I remember growing up as a kid, I thought like rated R was just so bad because because all the stuff that I've heard, like, oh, this thing is garbage. Like, I'm never gonna watch those types of movies. Like, boy, was I wrong. I remember hearing the director's cut of Daredevil for the first time, and of course, I thought it was stupid because I was trying to restrict myself, even like with the stuff that I'm watching. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna watch this, but like, you never know, Mr. Blu-ray, your opinions might change. But I've said this in the past too, guys. I am not going to watch and like everything else that the people enjoy, okay? Especially with my peers. Like, not everything is going to look appealing to me, okay? Like, you gotta understand that, like, of course, I'm still expanding my horizons, right? Like, even I knew when I was getting into the sci-fi genre, I knew that that wasn't going to be the only genre I was going to be into because again, there's other good genres of films and TV that I watch, like some of the not the live action remakes, but some of the live action Disney movies that they made in the past, like what is it, Tron Legacy, John Carter. Again, I mentioned that before. The Prince of Persia, The Journey of Nanny Dan, is that what that's called? But that's a good movie, and the freaking Princess Diaries, guys. I love those movies. I don't care. Like, I'm a 22-year-old grown man, and yes, I can admit that I enjoyed those films. Okay, because I grew up with those films, so don't expect me to hate them. And of course, like Fox. I'm not gonna get into every movie studio here. Just this is another perfect example. Fox has a lot of good movies too. Like most of them have been live action too. You got freaking Night at the Museum, for example. I remember I used to have like such a love hate relationship with those movies just because, like, I don't know. Maybe I was trying to adjust into that genre. Hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry. Should not be coughing like this. Of course, you got like The Sandlot, Gulliver's Travels, Gifted, and I know this isn't live action, but this is still good anyway. Everyone's Hero, like that one is really good for sure. And Epic, let's not forget Epic. But yeah, I feel like that could be our responsibility now as we're growing up as still younger adults. Like, if we want to show our parents something, whether if it's like hardcore PG-13 or rated R, like just get your crap together and um, hopefully you don't get your head bit off by your parents. Again, that was one of my fears. It rarely happened. Don't worry, nothing bad ever came out of that. It's just like, but boy, that can haunt you forever if you get if you get in trouble with your parents like that. Like, you watch this, you enjoy this. Like, what the frick? Like, you guys know which tones I'm talking about. But well, like I said, I am very careful with the content that I'm showing to my parents. Like, sure, again, they're not gonna like what I like, okay, and I don't expect them to, okay, and of course, they're not expecting me to like what they like. And that's okay. I still feel like every family should be like that. Like, you don't have to like everything just to bond with your family in general. Like, I grew up with these basic principles by knowing, like, just be a normal family. You don't have to, like, be perfect. Like, oh, the only way I bond with my kids is if I watch this and, like, I have no other choice. Like, that is such a sad, sad way to think about because again, I'm not saying every parent's like this, but I have met parents and they should keep they should still have this thinking, like, yes, they don't agree with everything with what their kids are saying too. Like, see? Parenting 101. What do? You don't become slaves to your kids. No. You are the parents. Don't let your children parent you. They have no business doing that. Like if they don't know what they're talking about, then they need to shut up. Again, that's another thing I've learned too growing up. Like, basically, put your money where your mouth is, basically. And another cool advice that my dad said to me years ago, like, this wasn't applying to me, this was applying to a stupid parent that we kind of knew, but he said, if you have no idea what you're doing, like how to take care of your kids, then you have no business being a parent. Yep, I agree. I know I'm getting a little serious about here. Like, this video is still fun, but I feel like I need to talk about this on a separate video, so I will. I just remembered something today from work, and it really pissed me off. It wasn't regarding to me. It was like, oh my gosh. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, guys. I guess there's nothing much to say other than just, like, again, just know what you're doing and don't get your head bit off, because again, that would give you, like, not like major PTSD, but just like, oh no, it's coming back to me now. Good times though, guys, right? And of course, I don't have to put on my favorite stuff on for my parents just to, like, bond with them, like, because again, like, I know my parents, like, we could still bond in many different ways. Like, it doesn't have to be through entertainment. But what can we take away from this, really, is that what I'm saying to you now, I am not perfect, okay? I want to make this very clear with you guys every time I talk about these things with you guys. Like, no, just because I have these different morals, standards, principles, whatever, that doesn't make me perfect. Like, hey, you guys have your different principles too, right? And I know you guys aren't perfect, and I know you guys aren't trying to do that. Oh, well, of course, there's egotisticals out there. What? There's egotistical people, thank you, logic, that will brag about that stuff. Like, yeah, we get it. You're perfect. Get out of here. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell and share my content if you haven't already. And I did not expect this episode to be actually an episode long. Like, oh my gosh. I thought maybe like 13 minutes would do, but like, nope. We're already here at this point. But stay tuned for the separate video, guys. Alright, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for that. And may the Lord be with you guys. Always love, guys. Peace out, guys.